In this video, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that any player can use in this game. I'm going to break it up into 3 categories. I'm going to break it up for newer players, and then there's going to be the average player, and then there's going to be the people that have completed everything. You'll also be able to see timestamps below for what parts of the video are which. So starting off first, we're going to go into newer players. Players that haven't beat the game yet, they're making their way up, and they just want to know what the best way to play is. Also, if you're a newer player, I highly suggest that you stay to the end because the tips for all 3 categories will be really helpful to you. When you start playing, you're going to want to focus on high power level items more than low power level items. Don't get attached to any of the uniques that you get because they're low power level and they won't be good one level later. If you have a level 40 really great unique, then you get a level 45 common weapon, odds are the common weapon is better and you should use it. Take your time exploring. This is probably the most fun I had on the game, was going from default to apocalypse and learning everything myself. There are a bunch of secrets that you can find and new levels. I suggest doing those as quick as possible as they will help you get more items and help you beat the game easier. I suggest that you find all the secret levels and all the runes right away, but I think it's best for you to do it yourself and not look it up because it makes it more fun and it makes it a little bit more challenging. If you do want to cheat and you want to get the levels as quick as possible without finding them yourself, there are guides all over YouTube that'll show you where everything is so you don't have to do any of the work yourself. The most important level that you should focus on unlocking is Soggy Cave, which can be found in Soggy Swamp. Now, Soggy Cave is a level that you can beat in 30 seconds, and it gives you the best gear drops in the game. So if you're ever stuck on a level and you can't find a way to beat it, go back to Soggy Cave, put on the highest difficulty that you can, and then run through it and get the chest, do it over and over again until your power level is higher than the level you're trying to do. As a new player, honestly, just have fun with the game. Do the best you can. There's no rush. You just have to beat the game and get to a high power level by September 1st when Creeping Winter comes out. So to spend some time, explore all the content, and most importantly, enjoy yourself. Now we're going to be at the medium level players, the players that haven't beat the game on Apocalypse, but they're on it or just beat it and now they're wondering what to do. So if you haven't beat the game yet, you're just going to want to run through all the levels on Apocalypse. If you get stuck on any of them and you can't beat them after a few tries, go to Soggy Cave, run through it for 15 minutes over and over again, and then your power level will go higher and you'll be able to beat those levels. If you haven't unlocked every single secret level yet, you should definitely work on doing that. There's the Moo level, which you have to unlock all the ruins with. There's Creepy Crypt, which can be found at Creeper Woods. Soggy Cave, which is found at Soggy Swamp. Ark Haven, which is found at Pumpkin Pastures. Lower Temple, which is found at Desert Temple, and that just came out in the DLC. And then finally, Under Halls, which is from High Block Halls. Also, while you're in your mid-game content and you're beating Apocalypse, when you get to the higher Apocalypse levels, you're going to want to hold on to a few different artifacts. The artifacts are the Boots of Swiftness and the Deathcat Mushroom are absolute must. They are perfect to beat this game. The other 2 that I recommend, but you can switch out if you want, is the Ghost Cloak and the Gong. The Gong will make it so you kill bosses insanely fast, and then the Ghost Cloak will help you run through levels faster. The 2 best weapons in the game are the Whirlwind Axe and the Fighter Bindings. The Whirlwind Axe is used to clear out crowds of mobs, and the Fighter Bindings are used to do a bunch of single target damage to focus down those redstone golems and bosses. For armor, I like to focus on the Battle Robe or Renegade armor with as much cooldown as possible. Cooldown will make it so I can use my artifacts more, and that's just great for everybody. Lastly, the crossbow. You're going to want to focus on an exploding crossbow or a harp crossbow. Whichever one you get, doesn't really matter. You don't even really need it. If you get these items along the way, great. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. You'll be able to beat the game without them, and that'll take us straight into endgame. Like I just finished off the mid-game content, the endgame content, you're going to want to focus on getting your best in slot items. Your best in slot items are the Deathcat Mushroom, the Ghost Cloak, the Boots of Swiftness, and the Gong. Those are the 4 best artifacts. You need them. After that, you're going to want to focus on the 2 weapons that I just said, the Whirlwind Axe and the Fighter Bindings. You're going to want to get those as fast as possible. Now for armor, I have armor that I boss with, which has Cowardice cooldown, Renegade armor, and then there's armor that I run through levels with, which is a Battle Robe with quad cooldown. These are going to be really hard to get, but if you get them, they are just so amazing to use. The Battle Robe allows me to keep my Ghost Cloak and my Boots of Swiftness up full time, so I can run through levels without a single mob attacking me. And the Renegade armor just shreds bosses. You're going to want to focus on getting an exploding crossbow to help you mob, and that will do a lot of damage to big crowds. So then, you're going to want to go to certain levels to grind out to do these. The best level to farm most of these is at Soggy Cave. You're going to be able to get the Double Axe and the Gauntlets. And if you don't want the Battle Robe, you can get a 4 cooldown Evocation Robe here too. Then you're going to want to head over to Creepy Crypt, and you're going to want to run through the level as fast as possible. So you get a Ghost Cloak and Boots of Swiftness. After that, you're going to want to run through the Cow level, where you can get a Deathcat Mushroom, a Gong, and an Exploding Crossbow all on the same level. For Renegade armor, that's probably the hardest thing to get. You're going to want to go to Fiery Forge, and that's probably the worst grind in the game. But once you finally get that Renegade armor, it's a great feeling. So now, once you have all your best in slot gear, there is no endgame content yet. So what I suggest is for you to do some challenges to challenge yourself a little bit. Like, I tried to kill the Moo boss with no weapon. I won't do it again, but it was pretty fun for the time being. You can also do stuff like getting rid of all your gear or just taking it off and then spending 5k at the blacksmith and then whatever you get, you have to use. Just stuff like that to keep you entertained until Creeping Winter comes out. Just make sure that you have everything that you need when Creeping Winter comes out. So you have a month to get it. Good luck. I hope these tips were helpful. If you wanted to see that video of me trying to kill the Moo Boss with no weapon, click on the video right next to my webcam. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, like the video. It means a lot to me. Leave a comment down below on what you want to see me do next, and I hope you have a great day.